Okay, we're on the final stretch up from the landing. We've cut our landing piece here. We've got rid of all the fluff. Right, remember, we're going to put some glue on each end when we're done. Now remember, we had our extra piece that we cut off from our roll. Now I've already taken the liberty to straight edge it out, because you don't want to start, remember that we cut it and it was rough along the edge. Right, so we straight edged it. We're going to get rid of the fluff. Okay, our pad's already lined up. We're just going to pull our straight edge down and meet it up with our landing. And we're going to line up this outside first, because this is the first line you see when coming up the stairs. We want to make it look like it's one piece. Lock that in. Move it down to the other end. Tuck this whole thing in. Bang it down so that it's really in there. Okay, you don't want any gaps. Let's lock in that far corner. Split the pile. Locked in. Push down, middle, split the pile, locked in. And then I'm just going to do it every 2 or 3 inches. As always, if you need more, use more. Okay, now we're going to pull this down, fold under. If you watch the beginning of this San Lucas tutorial, you'll see that everything goes the same. Up on a 45-degree angle, double tap at the end, double tap at this end, and just fill in the blanks all the way down every inch or so. Okay, if you need more staples, use more staples. If you need less, use less. Now our gap is 4 inches. I'm going to make myself a 4-inch template out of a scrap piece of underpad. Make sure you take your time on this. You want it to be nice and straight. Okay, so now we've got our spacer over there. Right, if you didn't see how we did our spacer on the bottom flight, the link will be in the description to watch the video before. We're good there. We're going to take our kicker. Okay, the staples that we're using are 9/16 by 3/16. Okay, the crown, the tool list will be linked in the description below. Okay, so if you've been following along, we're going to put pressure on here, right, with our hip onto the kicker, and then we're going to take the tip of our tucker and we're going to score this line. We're pre-creasing it. We're breaking the back of it so that we can, it's a little bit easier to install and so that the staples will not pop out. So now that we have our crease, we want to put pressure, because look at it, we don't want it loose. Put pressure straight on. Make sure that we're lined up with our template over here, our spacer. We've got pressure. Take your staple gun, pressure, lean, 1, 2, 3. Now that's locked in there. Look at that. Nice and tight. We'll angle out. 1, 2, closer, double tap. Same thing over here. Double tap. And now we have a totally nice tight stair. Now, we discussed on the bottom stairs that if you want, you can put staples in here to hold the side down. We're not going to do that today. There are other videos. If you ask me in the comments below and say, Keith, I need another video to show me how to do that, where I insert the staples here, just holler and I'll do that for you. Hey, and remember, you can join Stair Runner Pro Hub. The link is in the description below. It's a lot of people in there. We're trying to get all the contractors, carpet installers, designers, everyone that's interested in stair runners and carpet installation. We're going to have a catalog hub on there. We've got some training videos in there, and we're just going to keep adding more. We'll probably put this whole staircase available in there. You guys might be seeing it on YouTube, but we'll put the whole full install on the hub. It's absolutely free to join and a great place to network. That will be in all the video link descriptions below. Okay, we're going to take our spacer. We're going to move our spacer up to the next stair to make sure that we're nice and straight, nice and even. We're going to pre-form or pre-bend under the nose here. Okay, we're going to take our staple gun up on a 45, make sure that we're lined up, double tap, and move all the way along. Feel underneath for staples. Looks fantastic. That's what I think. All right, and now we are moving up to the top of the last stair. This could be an upper hall. It could be where you want to finish. We've got our finished edge, right? We're going to cut that off. Okay, we're going to leave about 1 inch. And we're going to cut that off. And we're going to come back to that. Bear with me. Let's finish this stair off. The reason why we cut that off is, why wouldn't you just roll that up and cut it underneath? It's because, you know what? I want this nice, clean, finished edge to be under here. Okay? So we're going to we're going to make it invisible. We're going to make it disappear in the crease where the riser and the tread meet. Okay? That's the, how do you say it? Pied de resistance, to make it look the best. You know, filet mignon, all that good stuff. I'll tell you a story. My grandfather, we used to go fishing up north, and we would catch fish, and then he would make it. We would clean it, make it, cook it, and he would always say, filet mignon. And so when I was older, I always thought filet mignon was fish. And, you know, he was gone after I'd find out that, you know, that the fish wasn't filet mignon. It was just pike. And I always thought that was a pretty funny story. Okay, listen, we've got our spacer in over here. We're going to put some pressure here, right? Hip, pressure, right? Make sure it's straight. We'll lean it. Listen, if you got to go to the left to make it line up for the spacer, do it. If you got to make it, if it's over the spacer, right? Push to the left, push to the right, just to get direction. Get your tucker, keep pressure on it so that's nice and tight while you make your crease. We've got our crease. We're going to take our staple gun, put pressure. I'm just leaning on my hip right here, and then we're going to straight up and down, right? We want to be touching our hull nose. We do have to cut this off. We don't want to hit staples. So I'm not doing a double tap yet. I'm just really locking it into place so that we can get a real good groove on it. Then we can take a really good knife. We're going to go before the binding, cut to the middle. We're going to flip our knife over from the binding to the middle. We're going to split it down the middle, open that up. We're going to take a pair of scissors, and we're going to finish those cuts. That way, we don't cut our backer board, our riser. We're going to tuck that down, blow out the fluff, and add staples on an angle every inch. We're going to tuck those staples down, blow the fluff out of there, and now we're ready for our final piece, which is our riser. Okay, so now that piece that you cut off, we're going to take that. We're going to take a tape measure. We're going to measure from under the nose on each side. Under the nose down to the carpet. We've got approximately 5 3/4. Same thing over here. I've got 5 3/4. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to mark on the back from the binding over 5 3/4. And then I'm going to mark from this side 5 3/4. Then I'm going to take straight edge, and I'm going to connect those so that I can now see that line, and I can now take my shears and cut this. So I'm going to cut on this side of the line, so that gives me a little extra. I'd rather you guys have more than what you need. I've done this a zillion times, so I'm probably not going to be short, but I don't want you guys to be short. So with your measurements, make sure you have a little extra, because you can always cut off what you don't need, but you can't add. So let's get this in place. Let's lock it in on the left side. We're going to split the pile, lock that in, one at the top. And we're going to work this all the way down like that. Split the pile. You don't want to see indents. put the pile anywhere where you think that it needs, right? This is a visual piece, so you don't need a zillion staples. You just need it to be held into place. All right, look at that. That's it. Now we're going to make sure that we take a little bit of glue. We're going to put a little bit of glue on the end here, a little bit of glue on the end here, right? Tuck it in before we glue. And then that stops that from fraying. And that's it. Wow. There you go. That is the San Lucas Natural Stair Runner. With the left turn, the finish under the nose. Looks fantastic. I love it.